Ahoy mates, it's Julie here with Monday's episode of The Boaters TV. The boater education issue is making more big splashes in nautical news. Sea-Tow International, an international boat towing company, and Boat US, the Boat Owners Association of the United States, who also provides sea towing services, have been butting heads over the issue of mandatory boater education and licensing, but not for the reasons you'd think. When the Department of Homeland Security suddenly announced support of boater licensing on the grounds of safety, Boat US objected to this announcement on the grounds that Homeland Security was confusing the issues of safety and security. The department, they argued, was actually interested in allowing the Coast Guard to stop vessels at sea and ask for identification, an action impeded by current laws and regulations. Boating has never been safer, Boat US pointed out in a press release, and Homeland Security's goal would be more easily and immediately realized by appealing to Congress to allow the Coast Guard to use current systems already in place, such as driver's licenses and passports. Sea-Tow International, which is organizing an October roundtable discussion on the issue of mandatory boater education, at first criticized Boat US for apparently saying that boating was safe enough. A series of press releases followed in which Boat US founder Richard Schwartz called such an unfurl a purposeful misreading of Boat US's position and nothing short of misleading to the boating public. Schwartz points out that Boat US, which offers free boating safety courses through its website, has been encouraging boater education and safety for 40 years, including testifying before Congress in 1969 in support of the Federal Boating Safety Act. Sea-Tow, who appears not to have invited any representatives from Boat US to the roundtable, responds to the increasingly muddled and defensive debate through a letter from founder Keith Cummings to be published in the next issue of their member magazine. Cummings points out that the issues of safety and security in boating can get confused because, he says, certain components of each argument find their way into the other. Sea-Tow is calling for mandatory education to ensure that boaters know the rules of safety on the water, but acknowledges that security can be ensured by a variety of methods, from boater identification cards to vessel tracking. The letter posits a hybrid solution. Ideally, says Cummings, the solution would involve some form of practical testing, much like the driver's test that made so many of us nervous as teenagers. In essence, solving the boater education problem would have the side effect of solving the security issue as well, killing two seabirds with one licensing stone. In the event that universal boater licensing does become a reality, you may need both a boater's license and a driver's license to operate the subject of this week's Power Play segment. Look out on the water! It's a car! No, wait! It's a boat! Actually, AQUADA is an amphibious vessel, part sports car and part speedboat. Capable of 30 miles per hour in the water and up to 100 miles per hour on land, and equipped with a 5-speed automatic transmission, the vessel will be available for about $85,000. A significant bargain over earlier models, which sold for over $200,000 in Europe in 2003. AQUADA transforms by retracting the wheels and switching power from a 4-cylinder, 175 horsepower engine to a water jet propulsion. The whole process takes about 5 seconds. Following hundreds of attempts at building a commercially viable vessel of this type since the late 1890s, UK manufacturer Gibbs Technologies succeeded after a 7-year development program, more than 1 million man-hours, and 60 new patented technologies. Engineers had to overcome differences in air and water aerodynamics, mandatory and forbidden lighting signals, and other obstacles. Company founder Alan Gibbs attributes AQUADA's existence to lightweight materials, engine technology, and superior vehicle architecture. Gibbs hopes to make AQUADA available in the U.S. by 2009. For more on transportation of boats and boaters, we turn to our Yada 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 segment. Ever wonder how yachts make it from the U.S. to the Mediterranean or similar journeys? Some travel on their own bottoms, of course, but others hitch a ride. Dockwise Yacht Transport, an industry leader since 1989, introduced its new super ship, the Yacht-Express. With a cruising speed of 18 knots, the 685-foot giant reduces travel time when heading across the pond from 15 days to just 8 days, almost 50%. Yachts are supported by a massive 105-foot beam over 55,000 square feet of deck space. The company's fleet of semi-submersible yacht carriers offer float-on, float-off service, unique in the shipping industry. To learn more about how the float-on, float-off method works, please visit Dockwise Transport's website at www.yacht-transport.com. Under the Information tab, click on How Does It Work? And you can view a 3D animated video about the loading process you're watching right here. After deck preparation, installation of keel block cradles, and supports to the deck of the yacht carrier, the vessel submerges into a floating marina to a draft required for loading the yachts. When all yachts are moored in their reserved position, the yacht carrier starts her dock operation. Once the deck is dry, the yachts are secured to the deck and are ready for a safe crossing. Dockwise Yacht Transport's global routes include the U.S. East Coast, the Mediterranean, Northern Europe, and the Caribbean, those all being the most popular, and the U.S. West Coast and the South Pacific, serving such favored destinations as Australia, New Zealand, and Polynesia. And that's a wrap on today's episode of The Boaters TV. Join us back here on Wednesday when we have a very special announcement to make. You don't want to miss that. Until then, safe and happy boating to you all. Take care. This episode of The Boaters TV was brought to you by the letter R. That's R for Romeo, and meaning the way is off my ship. You may feel your way past me.